From the gridiron to the diamond, this is more than X's and O's. This is your best Florida sports podcast with CBS 12 News Sports Director John Evenson, producer extraordinaire Sam Sullivan, and Max Shepman with the lighter side of sports.
Welcome to episode 19, a much different look, a very special guest. You might know him, Pierre Garcon,
PG.
NFL star receiver. Man, he lit up the television for years. I grew up on watching him with the Colts.
Finally, we have an actual athlete here
to
discuss sports with these chumps.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for
pleasure to
joining
give you
us.
the ins and out of the mind of an athlete.
That's right. That's right. And we're going all over the place, from the NBA, Miami Heat. Just got some breaking stuff right now. We're taping this on Wednesday.
Breaking
NFL,
news.
Conference championship. We've got some golf. We know you're a golfer here in
Yes.
South Florida.
Let's get into the breaking news, which won't be breaking news maybe by the time people
Yeah,
are listening
right.
to this, but it's breaking news to us.
So the Miami Heat, once again, planning to suspend Jimmy Butler for 2 games
He missed a flight.
because he missed a flight.
Yeah.
It says that he was planning on taking his own flight to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have a game until Thursday night. So he's still going to be there a day in advance, but it's a little weird.
So this is all adding up. Let me ask you this, Pierre. So more or less, after the 7-game suspension for saying that he wasn't happy in Miami anymore, the word is that he's kind of been separated from his teammates and everything that they do. He was sort of noticeably slower, lackluster, especially in the last game. I think his speed was clocked at like the 3rd slowest on the team or something like that.
Clocking the speed up and down the court.
Then you're missing flights. Then you're missing
And then
flights.
missing flights,
So
yeah,
let me
yeah.
ask you that. I mean, I don't want you to call out Jimmy or anything like that, but when there's that's like body language. I mean, that's very obvious. Like, how does that take a team down with you when that's the type of stuff that's going on? I mean, they got to trade this guy ASAP.
Yeah, it's ASAP because, like you said, the body language, and we play sports, and that's what everybody watches. Actually, everybody's watching the same thing, and we see who's giving effort, who's not, and we know what kind of player you are and what kind of player you're not, and if you're injured or not. It all shows, and it's showing now, and now it's leaking off the field or off the court where it's impacting the team rules, and you're missing the flight. So
How many flights did you miss in your career?
0. You can't even be late to the flight.
Right.
So, it's basic systems that you have to follow. And clearly when they say they're not happy and then they're starting to break the rule, it becomes a distraction. And I don't know if the Heat have a chance to be in the playoffs still, but it's basketball. It's a long season.
I got a question for you,
could be a
PG.
play-in team,
I don't know if you've kind of ever been in a situation where a teammate has made it known that like they might not want to be there anymore.
Oh yeah.
But
Played for 11 years.
all right.
Everybody's not happy every
never know,
day.
never know.
A football team that's a lot of players. It's a lot of players to make
stuff
happy.
goes on.
As a teammate of a guy like that, how do you like handle that? Like, hey, this guy doesn't really want to be here anymore. Like, how does a locker room kind of move forward with a guy like
Do
that?
you resent them for it?
No, honestly, it's levels to everything. It depends on who the player is and how much of an impact it has on you as well. Because most of these things handle themselves out, But when it's visibly a star that's not giving effort, then it's got to be addressed from the higher ups.
Right.
As a player to player, it was like, hey, we all see what's going on, but we still have the goal of winning this game.
Right.
The personal stuff, the business side of stuff.
We're seeing the stats because Jimmy, we're used to seeing the type of Jimmy at his
his best.
ultimate
Right.
is,
MVP.
9 or 10 free throws a game. He's forcing that type of stuff. 0.
He is the-
0 free throws.
Yeah. Right, he is
yesterday.
the Heat.
He
Yeah.
is the-
And so, there's obvious just he's holding back,
Yeah.
which can't happen.
And from Jimmy's point of view, you feel like this team, I can't carry you guys no longer. I still have fresh legs, they would call it. I need to go win championships to solidify my legacy because that's what we play for.
Yeah, I hear you.
Something that we could all talk about is what's going on in the NFL right now. Of course, your former Washington Redskins, now Commanders, in the NFC Championship. I mean, talk about one of the most aggressive teams at this point in the postseason. They're going up against the Eagles on Sunday. We'll start off with that game. How have you, what can you take away from this team being able to turn things around in such a short time with a rookie quarterback, brand new head coach, new offensive coordinator? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, it's like a dream come true, honestly, because you always want this to happen. Like, hey, we got a great first-round pick. We got a great coach. And, things are just all striking on all cylinders. And, it's a dream story come true. And you don't want it to end.
Yeah.
because next year, you don't even want to see what that's going to like because the standard's going to be set so high. Yeah. We want to just finish it all off right now. And I'm excited for the team. And, everybody's playing their part. And now it's the playoffs where you're just one game away from the Super Bowl. You don't mind running through a wall or doing anything for your team because this is the goal that you've always been playing for. And to be one game away and to play a divisional opponent that it helps, but that it's going to be a dogfight. Like you got to score points. It's for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. How difficult is it, like, first of all, for a rookie to come in and to have that type of confidence? Because people keep saying each and every week, well, he's really impressive and he showed confidence here, but now we're in the playoffs, and then he wins a playoff game. It's like, well, now it's for a trip to the Super Bowl. It kind of seems like this kid can't flinch. He doesn't even know he's a rookie.
Yeah, he's a natural thrower. He throws the ball well. So that's what in the playoff. That's what the game is moved to. And that's in the playoff. You have to throw the ball. You can't throw it 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and expect the players to make plays. You have to throw it downfield and actually gain yards that way. And that's what he does well. So I'm excited, but. It is a big moment for him, and when you are in those big moments, you go back to your natural talent, which is him, a natural thrower, and that helps us move the ball down the field. So it's exciting for us.
I got a question, PG.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, going to Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's a tough place.
We know those fans, right? We know those fans. Yeah. For the people that they might see it on TV, but as a person that played there twice a year.
Yes.
Describe what that atmosphere that Jaden Daniels is going to be walking into.
It's going to be the worst atmosphere because, they know he's a rookie. Yeah. Philly fans don't like anybody. They don't like their own coach. So
They're like Santa Claus. Santa Claus, they throw snowballs.
But they will try to yell and scream and distract you, and that's what they get excited to do. So he's going to hear it. He's probably already hearing it now.
But how do you not let it trigger you? Because from what we've all heard, people in Philly can be nasty.
Oh, they're very nasty, and it's the environment. They play the eye of the tiger. So even as an away player, you're getting excited because everybody else in the stadium has the same.
You try to turn it around and soak it in as if it's your motivation.
You let it motivate you because they don't like you. No matter how good you are, they're not gonna like you. They're not supposed to like you, and they're supposed to let you know. But you are excited to be in this atmosphere because it really is like a movie. And you're looking around and everybody's upset.
So what do you think NFC Championship, since we're going to be breaking down these games anyway, you want to talk about this game a little bit more, Sam? I know
for sure.
Sam is a natural-born Eagles supporter, so maybe we kick things off here.
Yeah, so
PG's about to – he's going to ring – he's going to show up at your ring.
Like, what's going on?
So he's going to show up at your Ring doorbell.
Yeah, great. Yeah, right, exactly. So, of course, as Pierre mentioned, these are these are divisional opponents. They've already met each other twice the regular season. They split that last game 5 weeks ago. They committed 5 turnovers on offense, the Commanders, but somehow Jaden Daniels pulls off a miracle, scores 5 touchdowns. They go on to win that game by 3. In both of those games, Saquon Barkley has rushed for over 140 yards, having 2 touchdowns in each of those games. I think it's pretty evident based on what happened last week against the Rams. The offense runs through him. Pretty much the entire team runs through Saquon Barkley. So that's kind of...
Where is the passing game gone, though? The Eagles' passing game, like 65 yards last week?
Well, that's the thing. When you got a good running game, you don't need to pass the ball. And that's what the Commanders are going to focus on, stopping the run and force the pass.
And then with the snow that happened last week, I mean, that's another... you saw A.J. Brown drop a couple of crucial passes. One of them could have been a touchdown, so... I think that also plays a factor.
Do you think there's more pressure on Hurts to get to the Super Bowl or Josh Allen? Who would you say?
Between those two.
Between those two. Because, it's been
if Josh Allen doesn't make it to the Super Bowl, they'll still love Josh Allen. If Jalen Hurts doesn't make it to the Super Bowl, they'll be like, hey, Jalen Hurts,
Philly's going to burn down either way.
Are you our quarterback?
Yeah. Josh Allen will still be the superhero. He just has a little bit more kryptonite.
Mahomes just got in your way again. But, but if Hurts lose to Jaden Daniels, I still think Hurts is a great quarterback, but the fans and the environment the atmosphere he's in, they're like, hey, maybe you're not that guy.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, go back to pure passers. You have to be a thrower. And Jalen Hurts throws the ball, but not as well as Jaden Daniels.
Oh, so fun to watch Jaden. Do you just see the uniform? I know it's one of 3 teams that you played for in the NFL, but do you see the Washington Commanders uniform and still just get goosebumps when they're playing well and when they advance to these
Not really,
because
the actual uniform changed.
What's the colors?
Name.
But the stadium, the things that the players are going through now.
It feels like a completely different franchise in a way.
It does, but, franchises change every year, especially when a new owner comes in now. You're always on the outside looking in, but now it's even more on the outside looking in.
Right.
But it's cool because every year is changing in every building. But I'm happy for him because, it's a great position to be in. You're in the NFC Championship game.
One of the great stories of the year, Max.
Speaking of snow, we've in the coldness, we've seen it a lot just this postseason alone. Obviously Mark Andrews dropping the 2-point conversion in the tie game.
He hasn't spoken yet.
Right.
There's nothing to talk about.
He's dealing with it.
He never really talked anyways.
Fair. That's fair. PG, playing in the cold, what is that like as a pass catcher? Like, how does it differ than a regular game?
It's different because you have to focus more because you were taught to catch with our fingertips, and when you get cold, these are the things that you lose feelings in the most. So you start catching with fingertips and palms. So that's you kind of concentrate more. You look it in more, but your fingers are not reactive because you have to feel it hit your hands, and then you have to clench to close it. So that's probably what happened to Mark Andrews. Like, the ball hit him. It was hard, and he couldn't close it at that time, and it just started bouncing around.
The reaction time's a little bit different.
Yeah, once you start bouncing around, you can't double catch it.
Do you get used to it as a Florida kid? I mean, what's the first? Do you remember the first time you were ever in a game where you were like, "This is like a different planet for me"? Right. What is this cold air?
There's been many of times.
It still happens.
But you kind of try to find ways to help yourself because it's the toes that go, the fingers that go, like the biceps, the quads. You can live with that being cold.
Yeah, right.
It's the little things that you need to be functional on the field. Like
interesting.
You still went sleeveless? Did you still go sleeveless?
It depends. The wind chill decides to sleeve. If there's no wind chill, there's no reason to wear sleeves.
Maybe not in Kansas City in January.
But when you're getting tackled and you're getting dragged all the way around, you're like, I don't want to be dirty and cold.
What do you think? AFC Championship? Do we have? Do we need to pick a winner here? I mean,
we can pick a winner. We got why not?
Start us off.
Man, I see. I'm biased, of course, but I see that the Commanders are going to stop the run, put the pressure on the receivers, Devontae and A.J. Brown, to make plays consistently.
Right.
And if it becomes a shootout, I'm okay with Washington Commanders if we have the ball last.
Right.
And I would say 21-24, we come down and kick a field goal at the end, and, we win.
I agree. Even if they don't stop the run, I just feel like this will be a back and forth, and I am just in love with this Jaden Daniels. Week after week, the plot of him just having the ball last, and I can see it being a tight game, but just because I have a feeling it might be 50-50 here, I'll take the Commanders as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with.
We got a homer on this side of the
approach. I'm gonna go with his biased approach. I just think that right now the Commanders are playing with house money, and that can be a threat, of course. They're playing very aggressive. We saw them go on 4th down multiple times against the Lions, and it worked out for them. But this is also the first time this postseason that they're facing a defense like the Eagles, who have been able to shut down teams the way that they've been able to. I still think Philly's able to pull this one out and get a win, but I do agree it's going to be a very, very close game.
I don't want to see you on Monday if they lose, so that's the other part of it.
Who you got, Max?
He's wearing green.
I got green. Not Eagles. I did not plan. I did not plan for this, so I apologize. I think a lot for me depends on the health of Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Because I do see a way that Washington will stack the box to slow down Saquon. Not a lot of teams have done it, but as long as you don't let him get rolling, you know, if you can contain him, that helps a lot. So I think if Jalen Hurts isn't, obviously nobody's 100% at this time of year, obviously. But I think if he was as limited as he was against the Rams, I think that's a big advantage to Washington. So I'm kind of on PG's bandwagon here. Not because he's my guy. You know, this is logical NFL thinking.
It's okay. He likes how intellectual Max is.
It's a new side to him.
Thinking on the fly. How can I hurt Sam the most?
I said last week that I thought it was one of those times where I thought the Commanders came up a year too early.
Yes.
But I think the poise and composure that Jaden Daniels has shown throughout this playoffs, I kind of don't really have any doubt about him leading the Commanders' offense. So I'm going to go Commanders here.
All right.
Man, I did not expect 3 against 1 on that one.
We'll see how this next one goes. Of course, this AFC Championship will be airing on CBS 12 News this Sunday. Bills-Chiefs, I mean, another rematch in the postseason. Last year in the divisional was a huge shocker in Buffalo. They lose that game. Tyler Bass unable to hit that, that game-tying field goal. This game, I mean, can really go anywhere. It's very similar to last week with the Bills and the Ravens, a game that can go anywhere,
Well, let's talk about conspiracy theory. Because, everybody, the conspiracy theorists are out. Kansas City's getting all the calls.
Yeah. That's a good question for PG. So I don't know how much thought you've given this or if you watched the games thoroughly, but what is your take on when you watch Patrick Mahomes, the talk that sort of he knows how to be tricky and get around the rules and get the calls.
Draw penalties.
And
Tom Brady
sucker
did
people into
it.
hitting him and
all
that
those
stuff.
guys do it.
Do you see it?
You see it.
But it's smart football, right?
Yeah. It just takes, the, not the aggression, but like the full throttle out of football.
Right.
When you're going against the quarterback. Because
So
you got to think about it.
Weaselish in your eyes.
You got to think, because, it's safety first, but those quarterbacks use it to their advantage. Receivers can't use going across the middle to their advantage, but quarterbacks can use sliding to their advantage or being close to the sideline to their advantage. So they play with the rule, but the NFL also wants to protect the quarterbacks too.
Well, my thing is like, I totally understand where you're coming from, PG. They know how to use the rules to their advantage.
Right, and that's all they're doing.
Right. My thing is, I feel like the quarterback, once they get out of the pocket and past the line of scrimmage, I feel like at some point they have to be even game, right? Because you talk about it. They go up and they start running towards the sideline and then they do the little shifty move and that's like those extra 3 or 4 yards could make a difference.
For sure.
Yeah.
You always see the player that get caught up in the moment too, that's supposed to tackle or don't know what to do, and you feel sorry for those guys. You're like, coach wants me to hit him, the league doesn't want me to hit him, and the quarterback's like, I'm not going to go down yet.
Tell that to the fine. Tell that to your fine that you got to pay.
Right. And man, we all do it. Receivers do it when they're trying to call for a flag, and you use it to your advantage. It's unfair, but the NFL wants to keep these guys healthy because they don't want the backup in the NFC Championship game for a dirty play. I think it happened.
But you almost see Mahomes
like the Niners.
It happened with the 49ers or something like that. Huh?
You almost see Mahomes baiting them like, I dare you, and then and here I am, and then he gets 2 or 3 more seconds, and that's the weasel aspect of it that people are pointing.
when you're running close to the sideline, and he's like, oh, I stepped out of
yeah.
I didn't think of time.
But you do got to give
advantage.
Yeah, you do got to give those guys credit for knowing that. They have that little leisure to play with.
Yeah, it's when the D-line is getting hold and they like, oh, they sell it.
Yeah.
Well, the officiating better be at its highest level for these 2 games because, everyone's watching. It's Josh versus Patrick. Or
Two completely different seasons, I'll say, because obviously, Patrick Mahomes, he's a, multi-time Super Bowl champion. It's never really been his game to throw for 400, 450, 500 yards. But this season seems a little more different. Played in 16 games. He's only thrown more than 300 yards 3 times. And he's only thrown for 250 half of the games this season.
But they've won all those games by 1 score.
Their only loss was to besides obviously their last game of the season against the Broncos, their other loss, their only meaningful loss was against the Bills, 30-21 back in week 11.
Yeah.
So it's just, this is a much different look. And then Josh Allen having an MVP-like season, up in the running against Lamar Jackson. So there's a lot of storylines coming into this one.
If you're a Bills fan, I just don't think you want to see Mahomes have that ball last. It just feels like it's always, and people will always say, oh, they're lucky in the end. They always find a way. But it's just they build up to that luck, and that's the position they're purposely putting themselves in, is to have that last opportunity because they know their guy can get it for them.
Deliver. And I think this is what the Chiefs been waiting for right this moment, because now they have those receivers playing well. Xavier Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, like those are legit threats at this time of the year. And on that last drive, any of those 3 guys can beat you with the other players around them that I didn't mention. But having the 15 with the ball, this is it. You like those odds?
Yeah. We've talked about 4 solid quarterbacks so far, and they're in these championship games for a reason. This new generation, when you think back at, like Peyton Manning, the old generation, it's weird to think that that's the old generation of quarterbacks, but...
Way to date PG.
Right.
Is he losing some footing here with these great quarterbacks who are watching every single weekend?
Who?
Like specifically like Peyton, the guy you know best.
Who is... Mahomes, or is
just with the Allens and the Mahomeses and all these guys? There's more people in the discussion now. There's more QBs. It's a different generation, but of course, Peyton Manning's got more commercials these days.
He's picking back up on it.
But where does he land now in the greatest quarterbacks of all time?
I'm biased. I've seen the guy at work, like in person, and there's some throws that only certain people can make the certain throws.
Yeah. Right.
And then Tom Brady has obviously won a lot of games. And when Tom Brady's on, he's on too. You can never take away those physical talent. But I like quarterbacks. And Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback. Like, he throws the ball well. He came in as a thrower. And I always talk about that because that's what defines a quarterback. Obviously, being smart, being able to read defense helps, and having great players around you. But being able to throw the ball well all the time is the big thing. And Patrick Mahomes throws the ball very well. He's won a lot of championships. I think he's won 2, right? He's won 3. They're going for a 3-peat. Right. And, once you accomplish that, that kind of puts you at number 2 all time. Obviously, Tom is 7, but Peyton is Peyton.
What quality does Peyton have that you just haven't seen anywhere else?
It was the accuracy. It was the, having everybody reading defense too, but like we anticipated things. That's why it looks so easy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't easy. Right. It was a lot of preparation, a lot of rehearsing, a lot of practicing. Because we threw the ball every play. If we ran it was a shocker.
Yeah.
So it was the accuracy, the being on the same page with all of your players.
I am addicted to YouTube. I will sit and watch YouTube on my TV, the old sport moments that I remember.
Yes.
Do you ever just sit there and relive some of those moments with the Colts or the Redskins and just sit there and let it
Whoa, Evanson. Can't be saying Redskins, dude.
Just say Washington.
Hey, I'm an 80s kid. What can I say? My apologies. Washington.
Nah, but before YouTube was what it is now, I would always watch highlights because that's what inspires me to play well. So in high school, college, that was kind of our project in high school, is to make the highlight tapes to, for the game, and, just to motivate the team. And YouTube came around, and then there was like all these great players on
Tavon
YouTube.
Austin highlights.
Right, and you're watching these things to get inspired. And then, then I ended up having my own highlights on YouTube. So I kind of watched it.
What was the music? Do you remember the music?
It was
Was that no?
Because that's just as important, right? The background music for the highlights.
They would make it'd be random.
Yeah.
So, you didn't
generate.
Yeah. You just see whatever's out there, but.
Was that how you knew you made it? Was that how you knew you made it? That somebody made Pierre Garcon football highlights.
It was pretty cool. You're like, hey, I used to watch, other highlights. Now I'm watching my own, but now I don't watch it anymore because I don't need to get hype or motivated anymore.
Right.
But to get hype for games, you'd watch players, you'd watch, Dion's highlight. You'd watch Devin Hester's highlight.
Yeah.
Like if you need to be inspired, you just watch these guys. Adrian Peterson's highlight. You watch his college tape. You're like, oh my gosh.
Oh, we got the janitor coming in to clean up. Maybe give us like 10, 15 minutes. I thought that was going to be someone mad that I called Washington the wrong name. Come in here and call me out for it.
Josh Harris is walking through our doors right now.
My bad again. Where are we going with this show now, Sam?
Before we give our score prediction on this game, I want to ask, we talked about the Chiefs going on these Super Bowl runs and what it takes to get to that point. You've been on a Super Bowl run yourself. I'm curious to know, what does it take each week to kind of reset yourself into, all right, this is a brand new game, even though you're getting closer to what is, the biggest game of your life as a professional athlete?
It's the best week, honestly, because, it's you don't need to ask if anybody's ready for this game. It's like, let's, capitalize on any moment. Let's come out and be the aggressor. Let's set the tone early because we know what game this is. We know what's next, and we have to leave it all because there is no tomorrow.
Yeah.
there's nothing to save it for. So this moment, this week is always just like, hey, you're full of energy.
Right. How do you pace yourself, though? I mean, everyone's just kind of like, you can't just let it all go at once, right?
Exactly. But it's an exciting moment. It's good anxiety.
Yeah.
You just can't wait till the ball kicks off and, it's first down, and you have to set the tone.
I always picture you guys like the night before, and I envision like, how do these guys get to sleep? Like, you've got this game. It's probably an earlier start. You got to have the right breakfast. You got all this, and do you just sit there and stew and think about the game and it's hours away?
You watch YouTube.
Exactly. That's the answer.
No, but you have your nightly meetings and you go over the game plan. Everybody attacks it different. Some guys don't sleep. Some guys do sleep.
Yeah.
Some guys are sleeping in meetings. Some guys, but with the later start, you will get some sleep. Or sometimes they wake up early and have a walkthrough just to be on the same page. But, it's week 19, week 20 for these guys. And,
it's routine.
If you don't get any sleep, it's okay. But you're still going to be ready for this game. Regardless of, what time it kicks off.
Yeah.
Were there any pregame sort of habits that you had, whether it be the night, superstitions the night before, the day of?
Besides YouTube.
There's after being in the league for a while, you kind of get natural things that you just do over and over. Yeah, routine over and over. I wouldn't call it superstition, but you kind of do know when things are off, or you kind of want to continue certain things the same way. I wouldn't eat a lot of food before games because I needed to be light. I didn't need nothing.
No specific chicken parm before kickoff or something like that?
Maybe scrambled eggs and banana, water, bread, and I don't need anything extra. I need to play hungry so I can be light and fast.
It makes me even happier that you were eating a donut when you walked in. Because that,
makes us feel better about ourselves.
Days are more fun food-wise for you, right?
Fun. I can eat anything.
Yeah, right.
But not after the game, though, we can eat a lot because we're dehydrated.
Sure.
We load back up, I guess, because you put out a lot. But it's just making sure you're ready to go in the first play. Because some days certain body parts are injured, so you stretch out or you warm up a little different. But it gets routine, and you just want to make sure that first play you're setting the tone.
Right. Not to throw you under the bus, PG, but that was your second donut walking in there.
Yeah,
I'm happy I can eat it.
That's fantastic.
I'm happy I can
It's
eat
getting
it.
better.
Was too.
I have a sweet tooth, a very, very good sweet tooth.
All right, so score predictions. This game,
Ooh.
PG, you start us off.
Kansas City, Buffalo.
In KC.
Oh, man.
I guess if you want to think about it, I think
Evanson's ready to roll. He's
it's I have a rule that you don't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
True.
But in this case,
I'll make the exception.
we're in Buffalo. If you're going to beat a Chiefs team, it's going to be this Chiefs team. And Josh Allen, man, is he having a heck. It just makes sense. Kind of like the momentum that Jaden Daniels has for me. That this time, Josh Allen will get the ball last, and they will win, a close game. Something like 28. You like that 28?
Yeah.
I always love that. I did. 28-24.
There you go.
I think it's hard to beat Kansas City in Kansas City at this time of the year.
Right.
I think Kansas City might beat them by a touchdown, 35-28.
Okay.
Did I say it was in Buffalo? Was I delusional there?
Yeah, for a second you were.
I did. Yeah, it's in Kansas City.
in Kansas City.
My prediction holds, though. My prediction holds. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's I've said that it's Josh Allen's time to get back, to get into the Super Bowl, to get over this hump, to finally beat, Mahomes in the AFC Championship. And I feel like I got to stick with that. I think that this is going to be a game where the Bills are able to pull away early, only because I haven't really seen this Chiefs offense, stretch the ball downfield like we've known them to be. You mentioned earlier all the playmakers that they have: DeAndre Hopkins, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce, their run game, Kareem Hunt. They've got a lot of players, but I feel like this Bills offense is going to be able to establish something early, and it'll be too much at the end for the Chiefs to come back. So I'm gonna go 38-31.
I'm still going to be shocked when it happens, but let's see if we go 4-0. Let me see if we go 4-0, Max.
I just think it's Josh Allen's time.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I was extremely impressed by Buffalo against the Ravens was they really out-physicaled Baltimore in that game. And I feel like that is a very difficult thing to do, to go against the Ravens and out-physical them.
Mm-hmm.
Great game plan.
Great, yeah, absolutely. They were able to force a couple of more turnovers. I just think Buffalo is just on that roll right now where I don't really see them being stopped. I think the only way, this is cliche talk, but I think the only way that Buffalo loses it is they lose it themselves.
Right.
Josh Allen has a couple turnovers. Maybe James Cook has a fumble near the goal line, something like that. But Buffalo just hasn't shown that they're capable of turning the ball over like that. And I think
Chiefs haven't given up a turnover in 8 games.
Well,
So, yeah, the turnover battle will be key.
It could be very
yeah,
high scoring.
I don't know.
It usually shows who wins the game.
Right. Yeah. Who would have thought? Don't turn the ball over, you'll win the game.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I kind of agree with you, Sam. I feel like they're going to set the tone pretty early. I just feel like Kansas City, for some reason, hasn't found their entire groove yet, right? Because all year we've been like, oh, the Chiefs they're just getting to the playoffs. They're just getting to the playoffs. And I just haven't seen them get to that extra gear yet. And if you're going to beat Buffalo, obviously, chances is at home. But if you're going to beat Buffalo, I feel like they're going to have to find that extra gear, and they haven't proven to me that they can find that yet.
Right.
So I'm going to go. I like Kansas City 35. Kansas City. Whoa. Sorry. Buffalo 35. I'm going to go Kansas City 24.
That might be a sign that it's going to be Kansas City again.
So we've determined it's going to be the Bills and the Commanders in the Super Bowl.
According to the prediction.
Commanders, Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
Just a stat here, though. Mahomes, just to further, I know we all picked the Bills, but just to further show Mahomes.
He's already forgetting. He picked the Chiefs.
I picked the Chiefs.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
My bad.
He
my
wants
bad.
to forget
See,
about
it's
it.
denial.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's pure denial. Mahomes, to further your point, Mahomes has a 98.2 career passing rating in the fourth quarter and overtime during the regular season. That jumps to 108.6 passer rating in the playoffs. So he is just, we know how clutch, we already know how clutch he is in these type of games. That just further emphasizes it right there. He goes to a different Patrick Mahomes level. It's a different guy.
I think when they have the ball, in the last drive, it's like, hey, just get open, I'll find you.
Yeah.
And like we were calling a play, but get open, because that's how I felt. Like he was like, hey, Travis, where are you at? I'm gonna run until I can find you, or Xavier, where are you at? And, but mostly with Travis, and that's hard to stop because it's backyard football. What it looks like on those last drives.
Yeah.
So another big game.
I was gonna say, speaking of games, I've got a game for everybody.
There you go.
I've got a game. Although,
Is this what the pad is for?
yes, I gave everybody a pad. PG, did I give you your pad?
Here, you can have my pad.
Okay, all right.
You got here.
One paper?
Yeah, we'll give you some.
Look at the
wow!
muscle.
Whoa.
Look at, see, I got it.
Who do you think could bench more, Evenson or PG, based off of ripping that that
I'm
paper?
still gonna go with the guy to my right.
All right.
My closest to my right.
PG,
Professional
you need a
NFL
pen?
football player.
Yes, please.
Let's see those receiver hands, dude.
Oh, you still got it.
Still got
I
it.
thought it might be too cold in here.
Yeah, right.
It's a little nippy.
All right. The title of this game is also PG. Don't be mad at me. I just picked this. We're going 8 with 88. So
Hey,
I'm
I like
going to
it.
give you 8 questions here, and this is based off Pierre's career.
Ooh.
So
Oh, I'm terrible at trivia. Okay, let's try.
we love good trivia. So all right, here we go. Question 1. How many times was Pierre a D3 All-American?
Whoa.
No cheating.
Yeah,
No
I
cheating.
I don't want to.
No cheating.
Are these trick questions?
They are not. The last three. The last 3 will be.
Okay.
I'll get
No,
into
this
that
is
once we
not-
get
Wait a
into
minute,
it.
why are we writing it down? What is this, match game?
Well, just so everybody has their answers on a paper, dude.
Okay.
Just so we don't forget.
I guess I don't need the answer.
No, you do
No,
need
you
to
got it.
answer.
I think he
Absolutely,
wants
you
see
need
if
to
you
answer.
remember. He wants to see if you remember.
We want to. Yes.
I am ready.
We're remembering the career of Pierre. All right, we're good.
I think we're good.
Evenson, what'd you put down?
I put the number 2. The number 2.
All right. Sam, what'd you put?
I also put 2.
All right.
I also put number 2.
Well, PG, you would know the answer to this, so
There we go. All right.
His theory, though, is that you maybe forget some of your career. accomplishments.
I would have forgotten that one, but
There you go.
I had to think back.
Well,
'Cause I played at 2
congratulations
different
on those
schools.
2 awards.
I appreciate it.
all right.
I didn't get a certificate or anything.
Oh.
Hey,
Hey, we
post
hey,
it on the internet.
do you want us to print it out? I'll print you out one before you leave.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Eliminate it.
Question number 2. What team did PG score his first touchdown against?
Whoa.
Ooh, I know this one.
Wow.
Do you hear how many letters I wrote there?
No, I'm so focused. I almost want. I
You
want
want
a
a
hint.
copy off me, PG?
I want a hint of of what conference was it? Was it AFC or was it NFC? Can
I
I
feel
get
like we can give him a hint. We can give him a hint, right? Yeah, we'll go AFC.
AFC? All right. All right, I think I got it.
Also, I got this off Wikipedia, so if I'm wrong, I apologize.
I
You're
think
not
I'm right.
wrong. That hint won't help you, but
Okay.
Do you remember how many games it took? How many, like,
to score a touchdown, and I wouldn't know exact games, but I know when it was. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That was a good one.
Okay. All right, Evenson, what you got?
Good one.
Yeah.
Lamar's current team, the Ravens.
Okay. I went to play it safe. Division rival. I went with the Jags.
That was a great guess.
PG, what's the answer, buddy?
Miami Dolphins.
He sings the song. We have the song.
There we go. That's
We usually
good.
play that after wins. So
How
we
did
got
we
it in.
not? How did we not?
Ah, that was so obvious, Max. Hold on, I gotta charge my phone. Keep going, Max.
Oh, charge your phone.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Oh, is that your phone that's been buzzing all
Yeah,
this
it has.
time? What kind of amateur production
I was
is
gonna blame
this?
PG, but
Oh my God!
All right.
All
Number
right, there
That
we
was a
go.
good one, that was a good
Also,
one.
real quick, I know your mom was in the stands for that PG.
Yeah, family was there. Everybody was. It was our first game in Miami. My first NFL game in South Florida.
Wow.
That's
Man.
so cool.
What a homecoming.
It was in Miami.
That's awesome.
So that's one you definitely remember.
Exactly.
Is that something like you remember the route? Do you remember the play?
Everything.
Really?
Everything.
I
so
believe
awesome.
I believe you still got the ball for that, right?
It's somewhere now.
Yeah.
Do you have like a trophy case and stuff like that, or is it just kind of all in boxes?
All in
and-
boxes,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how I am too. You go, let's go to the garage and try to find this thing.
Too much. Too much to dig through.
All right. Question number 3. What year did PG lead the league in receiving catches?
Ooh.
NFL receptions leader.
Okay, I'm gonna. I've got my year. Okay, you want me to go first?
Well, does everybody have their answers written? Damn, Evanson. I know. I wish we could play that song, but CC copyright.
Oh, take that back.
Oh, now we're gonna get fined.
All
Pierre,
right.
just go home. This episode's never gonna air. All right, everybody got their answers? All right, Evanson, what you got?
I'm gonna go with early on in your career. I'm gonna say it was your Super Bowl season, 2009.
That's a good one. That's a good
All
one.
right, okay, Sam.
Not it. It's a good one.
This one I only knew because, as you mentioned, I am a Eagles heavy follower, and this one hurt. 2013, when he was on Washington.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Eagles.
That one,
Yeah.
that was a
That was
man.
a good one.
Jeez,
That
what a
was a good
season!
one.
That was Kirk Cousins at the time, or RG3.
We had both.
Both.
We had both.
Both.
It was a tough year.
Yes.
It's all
Combination
good
of
to have.
pain for you. so.
Yeah.
It's all good. Though.
Man.
All right, next question. Here we go. This one's a little bit tricky, just so you're aware. In 2013, what 4 current head coaches were on the Washington offensive staff?
Oh,
Yeah.
4 head coaches.
Right.
4 current head coaches were on that Washington offensive staff. Who were
Yeah,
they?
this stuff.
I feel like they play that graphic every single,
Yeah. Yeah. Word recall.
every like
I
third.
don't know if my spelling's
Game.
that good.
Well, good news is we don't count spelling.
They don't
so-
count spelling. How about you name 2, I name 2?
I got to think of the 4th. Wow.
I'm not going to look up that fact. I just want to look up.
Fine. PG, so when I was doing research for this game,
Yeah.
and granted, like again, you've seen the graphic come up, but man, when I was looking at it, I was like, wow, like that staff was pretty loaded.
Yeah.
And I believe like Raheem Morris was on the
Yeah,
defensive
he was
side.
there. Oh.
Is that one of them?
No, that's on the defensive
yeah,
side,
that's on the
offensive
defensive
side.
side.
All
Yeah.
on offense. God.
But yeah,
but
Raheem
yeah,
Morris
he was there.
Yeah. I was like, they pretty much had the entire NFL on their
young man's
coaching
coach,
staff.
young coaches association.
Yeah, right?
The
God.
good old Mike Shanahan tree.
Yeah. Oh, my God. All right.
All right.
Who do you got, John?
I think, was Dan Quinn one of the assistants? No.
He does not do
That's a
offense.
good
No,
one.
does
Mike
not do
McDaniel?
offense.
Mike McDaniel.
Okay.
Oh, I want some Mike
I
McDaniel
did
stories.
that. I don't know how I couldn't think of that. All right. So the other 3, Sean McVay,
Yep.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan,
Yep.
Yep. Shanahan.
and Matt LaFleur.
Yes, sir. All
Yep.
4 of
you
those.
got to say that was a good one too. The last
I
one.
had Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay.
He was around, but he was.
Kind of like a consultant almost
Yeah.
or whatever.
And Bobby Slowick, he's Houston Texans.
The OC.
He was there too as
Oh,
well.
okay.
That
All
is
right.
so
Does that kind of
Yeah.
blow your mind that you see all these guys who you worked with
you-
on the sideline?
You
now,
kind of know
head
it's going to
coaches?
happen because
Yeah.
every year
Yeah,
things
yeah,
change.
yeah.
So you kind of know these guys are going to elevate.
Yeah.
And
Was-
you know guys that know football that
Right.
teaches it well, communicate it well,
Yeah,
and they always need coaches.
Was Mike McDaniel as outgoingly funny and
yeah.
smart? You know, was his personality there yet at that point?
He had a personality. You know, you have to get used to it
Yeah.
because you can tell he hasn't played. He played football, but
Right.
he knows.
He's a different cat.
Right, he knows what he's talking about. He's
to earn
excited
respect
about.
in another way.
Right, so you have to
Yeah.
listen to him, and because they give when they were young, they give them every opportunity, not every opportunity, but an opportunity to address the team about the game plan moving forward. Like they'd get third down responsibility or red zone responsibility, and Mike McDaniel, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, like they would have to go present. Matt LaFleur would do the run game because he was the offensive line coach or the quarterback coach. So he'd have to do the run game with the quarterbacks and offensive line. Mike McDaniels was the receiver, so he would do the pass game installation. Sean McVay would do the tight ends and run game installation as well. So they just always present our game plan moving forward to the team. And that's kind of how the coaches always is in front of the team. And you see who communicates well, who the players respond well to, and they just keep growing their career that way. Meanwhile, we play on Sundays.
Interesting.
The Avengers right there. Man, that was a great one. That was a great one.
Yeah, we had a lot of great coaches.
All right, next one. In 2016, which quarterback threw PG's 500th reception?
I feel like.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I forgot who that one was.
See, this is why I brought this game.
500 reception?
Yes.
Okay.
He wasn't.
PG's 500th pass, which he caught, was from what quarterback?
He wasn't.
Alexa, who threw?
Yeah, right, there you go. He wasn't.
Pierre Garcon.
He wasn't on San Fran yet, so I feel like it's got to be this guy.
Yeah,
Again, this is why I brought up this game, because when I was interviewing Tommy Lee, he was like, "Oh, like it goes by so fast, you don't remember
does.
everything." And I was like, "This could be a good game for PG. Let's get the juices flowing there."
I'll take a stab at this question too,
Okay.
because I can't remember off the top of the head either.
All right.
Um,
Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Who you got, John?
I'm afraid to answer the question, man. I honestly am. I know it's not going to be the obvious.
Right. But I can't.
Is it?
remember.
It could be an obvious.
Can't even remember.
Yeah. Certain things you can remember, but I think I have an idea, but I can't confirm.
What's your guess, Sam?
I have, because he was still in Washington at the time. I have it as Kirk Cousins. Throw it to him.
I don't think it would be that. That would
Could
be
be.
the
That'd
be the
glaringly
obvious.
Yeah. Oh, but maybe since Max is a very simple guy, it is Kirk Cousins.
I don't know. It could be Kirk, RG3, or Colt McCoy.
Oh man.
I don't know. I'm trying to think who else it could be.
Are you ready for the answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the obvious one. Kirk
Cousins.
Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. Yeah. I'm trying to.
There we go.
Because I'm like, Robert got hurt when we played Cleveland. Colt McCoy played for Cleveland. I don't know if he was playing that game because it's a lot of
He doesn't have
years.
that ball. He doesn't have that ball. I don't think he has the 500 ball.
I do not have that ball.
Did you? Was it like the AJ Brown moment? Like you just threw it in the stands?
Yeah, right.
You forget, yeah. You gotta forget.
That ball went right to the ref, right back to the line.
All right, we got 3 left. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Which FAU alum played with PG in 2013?
There's no way.
2013.
A hint: he was on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, this is tough.
Oof.
Hey, at Best Florida Sports, there's a Florida connection to this.
I'm losing my time. Like I'm
lied.
at that
Yeah.
age now where
You said 2013?
Correct.
Yeah, it's tough.
2013.
Yeah.
He actually, I think it was a career
We
year.
give him
for
a, I'm
this
gonna give him
guy.
a hint.
A career year for this
a
guy.
career year for this guy.
All right. I'm going to throw out a guess. I don't even know if he played.
I'm gonna double check that, even
At
though I was like,
FAU. I don't even know if he played at FAU.
I don't think I've got someone in mind, but I'm not checking if he played for the Washington. I'm seeing when he played for FAU.
Career year got me onto something.
Right.
okay.
Right.
See, this is all about hints and
Yeah,
fun,
yeah.
everybody. You know.
Yeah.
Let me just double check the stats, not the actual answer,
All right.
because I know what the actual answer is.
Yes.
Don't copy.
I already wrote it down.
Okay. Originally I was like, when did Lucky Whitehead play for?
Whoa.
But
It was.
wow.
Okay.
But no one-
I got it confirmed. It is the second best year that he ever had.
Okay.
I apologize.
Was it
I forgot how well he did the year before.
Alfred Morris?
That's who I also have.
That
written
is
down.
correct.
Yeah.
Alfred
That was a good one.
Morris. All right. Hey, you know
Both of them got it right, yeah?
That's right.
There we go.
Oh, that was a good guess, Lucky Whitehead, too. That was like,
I was.
okay.
I think that was more 2015.
Yeah, that was more in the later years. Yeah,
He was a talent. He's kind of like that guy Turbin now.
Yeah.
He's playing in this. I saw him. He's playing in the CFL. He was in the
Lucky
Grey
Whitehead?
Cup. I'm pretty sure I
Not
saw
too long
him.
ago.
They're playing in the Canadian Cup or whatever the final is, right?
Grey Cup.
Sorry. Didn't mean to
that's in
offend
the
Canadians.
Yeah, right there. You go.
I'm not offended.
summertime.
I'm not offended.
All right, last two. PG, you don't. You know the answers to this, but I want you to give the backstory behind this. So this is for Sam and John. Ooh, true or false? Pierre bowled a 300 game.
Where would you get this information? He bowled a.
I think there's a story to this. There's a story to this.
Oh, is it Pro Bowl? Is that before Pro? Is that when Pro Bowl moved to like everything?
No,
No.
By the time he was finished, they were still playing the Pro Bowl the right way.
The right
which
way.
Was, yeah.
I wish I
felt
would have
bad.
played it.
Yeah.
The Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Which is the craziest thing of all, especially after that 2013 season, that the fact that you didn't get a Pro Bowl invite, we need to ban that
I know,
system.
that's well, there's a lot wrong with it. All right, I put false.
False, okay? Evanson?
I feel like it's a trick question, so I was leaning towards false, but just to make it interesting, I'll say true.
I got it as false because I think he was like a couple pins off.
I'm going to say true.
Right there.
PG, I was with you this night, so go ahead.
I was one pin off.
Oh my gosh!
99.
Oh my gosh!
Does that still sting?
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, right.
He knows more about the 299 than he does the 500th catch.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That is true.
So I will say, so we started that night. It was just 4 of us at the bowling alley.
Okay.
As the night went on,
How do you end up in a bowling alley with Max Shepman?
Yeah, right.
that's the
I used
biggest
to bowl a
mistake.
lot. Before I golfed, I bowled a lot.
Oh, there you go.
So, of course, again, we got there early. It was just us 4. As the night progressed, there was more and more people that were coming. And, of course, like as PG's rolling strikes, more and more people were coming. And I remember...
You're feeling the crowd.
There-
You've got
well-
a vibe going behind you.
There was a family...
The NFL again.
There was a family, I forget how many people, there was like 3 or 4 kids that were like running up and down the lanes, and it was me and somebody else, and we were like trying our best not to like shove these kids out of the way, because they're like running up and down, like messing up with PG's like stance and all that, and me and this other guy are like, I wish we could just like punt these kids out of this bowling alley. And yeah, I was on the last roll, I believe, PG.
Yeah, last row. What was it? The middle pin stayed up.
In the very front, or in
Not the very front, but the one behind it.
The 5, I think it's the 5.
five, I think it's
I think it's the
And
5.
right when it happened, Max said, that's going to be a good answer to a trivia question. Okay.
Well, it was like, shoot, $2.99. You know, it makes for a better.
Hey, that's
Right, yeah,
Not too
exactly.
many people get $2.99. A lot of people got
300.
Not too
Yeah,
many people got
$2.99. Man.
Man, that's a good one, Max. You got one more for us?
All right, last one. Pierre once co-owned a pizza spot that made pizzas in 90 seconds.
Is this like a?
True or false?
Is this a known place?
Just true or false. PG will tell the story.
All right. I feel like it's only fitting that it's true.
Yeah, maybe it's true, but you never got it off the ground.
It's true. It got off the ground. But
Where
we
is
shut
this
it back
place?
down.
I know
It was in Washington, D.C. area.
You could make a pizza in 90 seconds.
It was 88 seconds. What we like.
And you
I
watched,
see 88. Nice.
you watched the pizza being made? Did you see?
It can go around. I think it was 60 seconds. It was something like that. We were marketing that. So it goes around one time, man.
Oh,
It
it's
cooks.
like the oven in what's that sub
like a
shop?
blaze. Like a
Oh,
shop.
like Quiznos, how they
yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
That was the concept. And it'd go around in 60 seconds or 90 seconds. Well, I forgot.
I think it said 90 on the website.
Yeah, I think
but-
I
And
forgot
there were
the marketing.
Florida locations?
No, DMV area.
Oh,
It was
okay.
two in Virginia.
we need to bring that back to Florida.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back,
Tough.
PG.
Got some investors right here.
Yeah, right.
I left the
Ship in,
restaurant business alone.
Yeah, there you go.
Never going back.
All right, that's 8 with 88.
I appreciate it.
That's
I
nice.
appreciate it. That was a good one. Brought back some good memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was fun. Thank you so much for coming in
my
and
pleasure, man.
talking football with us and giving your
home.
actual professional athlete account of what we should be thinking.
We try to put the hat on or the helmet on every week to try and do it, but it's nice.
not easy.
Yeah, no, oh
Not
God,
easy.
I can only imagine.
And you're clearly still a big sports fan.
I watch it. I
Yeah.
I was at the Eagles Commanders game when
How'd you go?
Jalen Hurts got hurt. So
Yes.
I try to go back a lot.
Deep
and
down,
see it.
PG was
Did
like,
you wear
yes.
the Commanders jersey in the Eagles Stadium?
No.
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 You were
No, it was in
in
Washington.
Washington. That game was in
Oh, you're the
Washington.
Washington game.
Yeah,
Okay,
I wouldn't
okay.
want to go to an away game in Philadelphia,
Right, right,
especially not this one because
Yeah,
it's
right.
gonna be rowdy.
Yeah.
But I love going to the games and being around it because now I have no dog in the fight. I just get to watch it and critique it.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of other big conference championship games, there was one, I'm pretty sure, 6 years ago that shocked the world. That no call, Saints-Rams.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Tommy Lee Lewis. Max, you got to speak with him. I want you to really talk to us about this one because this was, I think we were all in shock and awe when it happened.
Yeah, so again, had the pleasure of having Tommy Lee in the studio. First ever sit-down experience with him. He's never done a TV interview about it before. Just to think, 2 days ago, it was 6 years. The infamous no-call Saints-Rams NFC Championship game. Just getting his pure perspective of what the emotion was like. It was such a bang-bang play. You see a lot of the plays nowadays, refs calling flags for bang-bang plays, and just his thoughts on the whole subject.
Literally prevented
The Saints
and
from
him
going
getting
to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So just being able to get his thoughts of just how, what it was like, and, kind of like people were like actually like threatening him.
Right.
Because he's like, dude, you should have like stayed on the ground. You should have like you should have Pat Mahomes it, like stayed on the ground, blah, blah,
Kind
blah.
of sell it, yeah.
Right. So, just getting his thought perspective on that, it doesn't really bother him to this day, but he doesn't watch it. As expected. So, although I do want to bring it up, PG.
Yes.
Being a receiver, I believe all NFL fans remember this play.
Mm-hmm.
When you watched it, what was your reaction to when you saw something like that?
Yeah, it was a pass interference. It's clear. I think something like that happened this weekend with the Ravens and the Buffalo Bills with Keon Coleman. They're like, oh, that should have been a no call.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's an offensive league. They usually help the offense.
Yeah.
That one was more obvious. The Saints
Rams
was more obvious. When there wasn't a call, it was a problem. This recent weekend, there was a call. It was a problem.
How could they miss something like that? I mean, this is 6 years ago now. So, but when you see a play like that's a blatant PI, do you ever wonder are the refs thinking at that point? Like, are they not, bold enough to want to make that type of call in that circumstance, and they just kind of chicken out and don't call it, or what's your theory on that?
I wish I had a theory because as a player, we think the refs see everything, and from a fan, we see what the camera shows us. They don't show us what the ref is looking at. We, as players, have an idea of which ref is looking at us.
Yeah.
And sometimes, they're humans. They look elsewhere, or they're not in the play as we are.
Yes.
They're looking at your feet or your physical. They're not looking at where the ball is at. And I
Right.
think that's what happened to the referee. Kind of, he just see the physical contact, but doesn't know where the ball is at, and that's how he missed it. But we're like, you're supposed to look at the whole play, and it happens. It's human error, but it's crazy when you see the other referee from the other place throw the flag too, and you're like, how the referee from further away sees this play instead of the referee that's closer.
And that's frustrating for a player, right? First, Tommy Lee had an exceptional career, but to know that there's like one play that people always bring up. I mean, it's the same as we started with Mark Andrews too. Like, I mean, in his head, he's trying to sort through this right now. That was a game everyone saw. They might have even learned his name if they were a casual fan.
Right.
And that's the play, sort of the Bill Buckner thing. How do you sort of get past that and just ball again and not worry about it like Tommy Lee did?
You got to make up for it. You just got to make more plays now. You got to capitalize. Now, for that one bad play, you got to make 10 touchdowns. You got to erase it because you can never change it now. Yeah. It happens. You learn from it. It'll keep you humble forever. So it's not a blessing, but it's a life lesson.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing to hear from Tommy Lee, Max. Such an exceptional feature story that you can watch this Sunday on CBS 12 News. This morning, it's like a mini little 30 for 30. It's like
my own little Netflix documentary.
I remember, and I mentioned this last week. I had to look it up. It was the Monday or Tuesday after that game. We did catch up, and he maybe didn't watch it after that, but we did catch up with Tommy Lee over at the park in Riviera Beach, and he still looked just stunned. I think it was all still coming at him on social media, and he didn't really. I think that might have been the day he stopped watching and stopped talking about it. So we got him then. And then 6 years later,
bring it back.
Exceptional feature story to watch this Sunday before the AFC Championship game on CBS 12.
Yeah, it's such a special piece, and I'm super grateful to be able to show it to everybody. And here's a quick clip of what he had to say.
The best feeling is you leave your apartment, walk into the stadium, just see how excited the city is. Everyone knew we were gonna win this game. Just knew it was gonna be a battle, but we were getting to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, it got ruined.
You want to wrap this thing up?
You want to wrap it up, PG?
Ah, man, I couldn't do that, guy. I couldn't do that.
I'll do it. All right. Ready?
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know we'd stopped. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I stopped the way that I did. So
okay. I was going to say, I could have...
You have a moment.
I could have added that little...
I didn't think you were going to keep the janitor walking in either. I mean,
absolutely. We're keeping that in there.
I definitely insist on taking the Redskins thing out.
No, it's fine.
You sure?
It's fine.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna. If we're gonna pause, I was gonna toss to the actual soundbite we're gonna play.
Oh, maybe
you can do it right there.
So come out of the soundbite. Come out of the soundbite.
Yeah.
Pretend you're coming out of the soundbite. Yeah.
All right. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Well, I wasn't there when you taped the interview, but I am extremely excited to watch that one, just to really pick the mind of the man who got to, live that play and then relive that play. So I think there's just. God, I want to hear the other side of the story when this one airs, because there's still a lot to really unpack from that. Maybe we'll get the refs one day down the road. That'd be nice to hear their perspective.
I'll send a little letter to Roger Goodell's office and see if we can get put a request in.
If we get the zebra in there, that'd
want to come back and be on the show if we got the officials here?
Nah, I've abused them enough.
Yeah, there you go. Well, one thing I want to say is I want to thank you so much for coming on to the podcast with us. Absolutely. This was really, a special experience to really, get into your mind and, get different perspective on the game, all of it really. So I greatly appreciate you coming on, and this was really fun.
My pleasure.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
All righty. Episode 19 in the books. Thank you, guys.
Best Florida Sports Podcast drops every Thursday morning. Listen on your favorite platform or watch on YouTube.